for another webinar. And I've got my colleague here,
Hello.
Shakura, who's in the office next door, and she's going to be building all the questions today and looking after everything back, all the backstage stuff that goes on. Okay, so when you use the chat, Shakura will be monitoring it all the time, and we'll try and answer all the questions that you have. Okay, cool. Well, I just want to say thank you very, very much for taking the time to join us on another webinar. This is the third webinar of a series. We've done one on the successful practice overview, and we've done one on the social media. We did with Nicole last time, and we're really excited now because we've done it. We've actually put together an all new successful practice online course. It's taken quite a few months of work. It's a new video-based course, and I'd like to show you around the course, and I'd like to share some of the experiences that we've had putting the course together and experiences that we've had over the years in the Shiatsu Center. So I'm just going to start sharing the slides now. And yeah, if you've been on one of these webinars before, you'll know that there's a chat feature which usually gets very active. So if you'd like to say hi on the chat, lots of you have already done that. Simonetta, hey, from Italy. We've got people from all over the world today. Talia, Kate, Antonella's on. Barbara from Australia. My goodness. Oh my goodness. We've got Karen. Oh, we've got some people from Switzerland. Wow, we've got a really international. Luca. Hi from Switzerland. Yeah, you can just say where you're from. We've got a really international webinar. Okay, cool. Great to be with you. We're just going to be 1 hour together tonight. And let me just show you what I've got in store for you. Okay, you've got the chat, which you've already found out about. I've got some handouts for you from the course, some free handouts. I've got the slides, which you can see right now. I've got some video clips from the course for you to see. And we're going to be wrapping the whole thing up in 60 minutes. Okay, so what I thought we'd cover today is I'd like to tell you a little bit about my story, about how I set up my own practice back in the day, how I found out how to do it and how I developed it. We're going to think about building the practice as an energy work exercise, an energy work thing, because that's our big thing. We're not really into all that marketing stuff, selling stuff. We're more into energy work. I'm going to give you a few examples. I'm going to show you into one of the places that I worked from home, which was when I lived in Italy. I'll show you a few photos of that, how I worked from there. And I've got some video clips of Shakura talking about that too. And then we've got a few questions. We've got time for questioning. We'll go through some of the frequently asked questions about the online courses. Okay. And then if you do want to join us on the course, and we'd love you to join us, we've got amazing webinar only offer, which we're going to give out at the end of the webinar. We're going to send you a direct link if you're interested in joining, but it's limited. So if you hang on in with us, then we'll share that with you. Okay. So let's have a look. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I used to work in a whole food cooperative in Brighton, which was linked to the Brighton Natural Health Centre. I'll show you some pictures of that in a minute. And then after I did that for several years, I was apprenticed by Pauline, and she showed me a lot. She taught me a lot about how to run a practice. And I've got some photos of those days too for you. When I came back from America in 1986, I did some specialist courses, quite expensive courses run by a chiropractor. There was one in London that I did, and I learnt, lots of different techniques from that. And I also did an open university course. So I did lots of training really. And what I was interested in was being busy. I just wanted to work with lots of clients. I knew that Shiatsu was brilliant, and I just wanted to share it. And that was my complete motivation. So look, here's Infinity Foods. Back in the day, it used to look like this in the 80s. And the Bright Natural Health Centre there, just round the corner. And it was very good for people who worked in the food shop because we got discounts on the Shiatsu. It was even better for me because I worked in the cooperative on a Wednesday when everyone was stacking shelves and doing the cleaning in the afternoon because it was a half-day closing. My job was to give shiatsu to all of the members of the cooperative. So I did a lot of shiatsus quite early on in my training, which was great experience. Now look, here's a picture of me and Pauline in her kitchen, and that's really where I learned how to run a practice properly, because Pauline was working full time. She had a really busy practice and she showed me how to do everything. She trained me on how to answer the phone, how to deal with the clients coming in, how to follow up the sessions. I mean, she taught me all that, and it was a massive training. And so when I came back to Europe in 1980, sort of beginning of 1987, I was completely confident that shiatsu could be a full-time thing because I'd seen it working. Pauline had shown me how to work it. So look, here's another picture from back in the day. This is Carola Beresford Cook, Paul Lundberg and Elise Johnson, and me there on the left of the photograph. And that's where we all met up in Lam Rim, and we founded the Shiatsu College in those days. That was with Pauline in those workshops in Wales. She taught in Wales, I think it was 1983 to 1986. So cool. Okay, so this is what I did. I did personal tutoring with Pauline. I did a practice management course with a chiropractor. Some of it I liked, some of it I didn't, but I tried them all out, tried all the ideas out. I did an Open University small business course. That's kind of a traditional kind of business course thing. And my motivation was I wanted to be busy. That was all my motivation was. And it worked. I tried everything. And obviously some things work better than others. Okay, so here's a slide from one of the previous webinars. Whole conventional marketing and selling thing, sales goals, marketing segment, USPs, target. No, don't like it. I really don't like it. It doesn't really fit with how I see things and how most shiatsu practitioners and therapists, I think, see their work. So I thought there must be a better way. This is a long time ago. I thought there must be a better way. It's got to be a creative thing. It's got to be imaginative, and it's got to be fun. Okay, and here is a review from a previous participant on the earlier versions of this course that we ran back in the day on the old platform. And she wrote, this is Catherine, I did not know that creating a practice could be fun. And yes, now I believe it can be learned. And that's the main thing I feel about building a practice. It's got to be an enjoyable thing. And there's no reason why it shouldn't be either, okay? Because basically it's about looking after our clients. It's an energy work exercise to look after our clients. Okay, so what we've come up with is we've come up with a complete energy work method. It's a 75 module course, 45 hours, self-paced. It's comprehensive. It's very, very detailed, as you'll see later. And it's completely action-based. So on every little unit, we have a video, usually, or sometimes audio. And, oh, Panayota's here. Hi, Panayota. Yeah, we have a video. And then we have like actions, what you can do, simple things. We broke the whole thing down. We broke it down to 7 modules, okay? And each module has about 7 or 8 activities, including a quiz. And I'll show you around in a minute. Okay, look, here's the 7 modules. First one is time, energy, and planning, how you can actually create an energy space for your practice. Module 2 is the pyramid, and I've got a free handout for you later if you stay with us on that. It's to so you can decide the best place to put your energy once you've created a space. Module 3 is from the social media workshop that I did with Nicole. And what we've done is we've taken that material and we've condensed it down into one module of this course. So you're getting the whole workshop as module 3. Module 4 is about the window, making the clients, making a lovely smooth path for the clients to come through your whole process of your clinic. And there's loads and loads of ideas there to help that happen. and things to watch out for, blocks to watch out for. Module 5, money. Sometimes that's a problem. It can be a problem. It was for me when I started to value the work and to charge the right price. You might be interested to know that there are three different methods or ways of pricing, and it's important you pick the best one for your work. Okay. Module 6 is the wave and the spiral. It's sending out a positive wave, how you can send out a positive wave and create a spiral, an upward spiral in your practice. And we've got loads and loads of techniques for that. And then module 7, finally, is putting it all together, managing ourselves, because we're our most important asset to make sure that we keep well, and our clients. And we've got lots of troubleshooting things, dealing with difficult clients, networking with other practitioners and things like that. And then finally, we've got a bonus module, which is a video of the Shiatsu Center. And we're going to take you, Shakura and I are going to take you right the way through the whole Shiatsu Center, showing you how we do every little thing, where we put everything, what we've improved, how we've managed it. And that's the 7 modules that we've got for you. Okay, cool. So look, here's Shakura. She helped me with some of the videos. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to go backstage now and I'm going to present a resource. Let's see if it works. I'm going to see if I can get Shakura to just talk to you briefly. Okay, let's just see if I can make this work.
Okay, so there's 3 different places that you can.
Okay, so it doesn't seem to be working, but never mind. Okay, so there we are. That's Shakura, and she's made a video with me about where to practice. And there's basically 3 places to practice. There's in your home, there's practice in the clinic, and also doing home visits. And we look in great detail at all of those 3 different places to practice. And I've got a handout for you. Let's just see if that will work. I'll just see if I can get that to happen. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to just share this file with you, and hopefully that will come up. Okay, so that's module 1. Where to practice, pros and cons. Okay, so here we go. Here's part of a slide, and you'll see how much detail we go into here. We look at all the different advantages and disadvantages of all the different places that you can practice. And here we have all the disadvantages and how you can get around the disadvantages of working from home. And we've taken a really detailed view of this. Okay. Okay, here we go. Do you want to have a look in my apartment in Siena? Yeah, because I work from home. I lived in Siena for 4 years, and I work from home out of our apartment. And yeah, it was a challenge because we had several communal spaces. You can see here we've got like an entrance hall full of toys, the bathroom with laundry. We've got toys all over the hallway. We've got a big picture of stuff over the over the door of my daughter. And it took quite a bit of sorting out. And look, I'll show you the second slide. Look, this is what it looked like after I'd sorted it out. So I completely cleared the space. I cleared everything out, made it as neutral as possible. I put magazines on top of surfaces so that it's more like a waiting room. And I also had special towels just for the clients in the bathroom, things like that. So I managed to completely neutralize the whole thing. So that was like kind of a cool thing. Okay, so here we go. Working from home, right? Okay, module 2 is the pyramid. Okay, and I've got a handout for you. I'm just going to go backstage here and just see if I can share the pyramid handout. So you should be able to download that for yourselves. So yeah, the pyramid is all about where to put your energy. So the first module is all about creating an energy space, deciding where you're going to practice. Module 2 is in great detail of how to put your energy into different levels of the pyramid, starting with the client that you're working with right now. A lot of people make the mistake of putting all their energy into the general public, which is the most difficult place to do it. Okay, so we've got ideas and we've got handouts and a video for that. Okay, so I've shared the handout of the pyramid with you. So that's it. Okay, and module 3 is from our successful social media workshop that we did with Nicole. So if you want to watch a little video clip of Nicole talking about the talking about blogging, okay, you can watch that here. Okay, so let's just see if I can do that. I'm sharing a link with you, and you can have a look at that whenever you get a chance. Maybe open it in a different window. So it's just to see her doing that. Okay, so cool. Right, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a lot of expertise in the team in social media, and the whole of that workshop, which we've run successfully over the last few weeks, we've put all into module 3. So you'll get all of that information there, how to build a website, all that kind of thing, how to use social media, and also how to use traditional media like leaflets and stuff like that. Okay, so I've shared the video of Nicole, so if you want to check that out whenever you get a chance. Okay, so now we have module 4. This is one of my particular areas of interest, and that's the whole telephone thing. Okay, back in the day, there were no mobile phones. There was no email. All you had was a landline and a postal address. That's when I started. I know it's showing my age, but things were much simpler then. In fact, when I started, I had 2 phone lines, which is an important thing. I had a business phone and I had my personal phone, and I never used to take business calls on my on my home phone. I never used to take business calls. I always used to have it completely clear. Now, of course, everything has changed really now, hasn't it? I don't know what you think, what your experience is. Maybe you could share on the chat what your experiences are of phones. But now, with the rise of mobile phones, everyone has mobile phones. There's email, okay? And then, of course, there's text messages. And then there's Facebook messages. And then there's Instagram messages. And then there's Twitter. And very soon it can easily get out of hand. There's just so many different channels that people can get in contact with you. And they expect, if they use their preferred channel like Facebook Messenger or email, they expect you to get the message and to respond to it. And it can become quite an issue. And another thing that's happened as well in the last 10 years or something is that mobile phones have become used so much. It's much more difficult now to actually keep your private space clear, because if you start using your personal mobile phone for your practice, which almost inevitably happens, you will get text messages on a Sunday. You will get people calling you up in the middle of the night to make an appointment, or to at least texting you in the middle of the night, or just when you go to bed or whatever. Okay, so one solution is to have 2 phones. You may or may not want to do that. You can have, if you want to be really strict, you could have 2 mobile phones, one for business and one for your personal. Or the other alternative, which is what I personally do, is I turn my phone onto airplane mode or turn it off in the early evening, and I don't turn it back on again until the next morning, which is okay unless there's some urgent family thing going on. So that's definitely a dilemma with the modern age, is communications, the sheer number and how you manage them. And we go into great detail in the course on how to manage that. And another big thing for me is the answer phone, because an answer phone is one of those strange things, because as I've put down this joke here, if you see that, your call is important to us, but not important enough to have someone here to pick up the phone for you. So answer phones can go either way. They can either convey a feeling that you don't care about the client, you don't really care about them, so you can't be bothered to pick the phone up. But on the other hand, if you're always picking up the phone, it gives a strong message that you're never busy with clients and you're only there waiting the whole time. So you need to strike a balance between being unavailable and being busy. And we've got a whole section in the course on how to set up your answer phone message, how to pitch the answer phone, what to say to give the impression that you are actually, busy but still kind of available. So if you've got any comments about that, if you've had any comments, or if anything's driving you nuts now with too many people, too many ways that people can contact you, then just put something on the chat. We'll chat about that. Okay, so module 5, we deal with the whole issue of money, because that can be an issue with healers and therapists and things like that. And it's something I had to work through myself. I was terrible at undercharging, and it's something I had to really think about. And we go into the whole idea of money as an energy exchange, which is very useful to think of it as an energy exchange. We look at pricing and charging. Where are you going to place your price? And as I mentioned before, there are 3 different types of pricing that you need to know about to get a real handle on where you're going to price yourself, because there's a danger of putting yourself in the wrong one of those 3 categories. Okay, so we go into great detail on that, how to set your price, 3 different types of pricing, how to charge, and money as energy. Where does the money go that the people pay you for your work? Most of it goes back to them by creating the environment, by giving you time to do CPD. It's very important that the whole thing's supported and is in a positive movement, So it's really important to get that right if it's a problem for you. Okay, so that's module 5. Module 6, and this features another one of the team, Zahra, who really, really benefited from this in her own practice building. And it's to do with setting up a positive wave that goes out. There's lots of ways that we subconsciously stop a positive image going out into our community. And that can mean that our practice doesn't grow properly, because basically there's a message going out, a negative message going out, and we can do it completely unconsciously unless we become aware of that wave and how to support it. Because the work you're doing is so great. It's just such a shame. And I've seen this happen so many times, that people don't build their practice properly because they don't take care of how they set the space up and how that is communicated out. And then what can happen is you can go into a downward spiral where you've got not many clients, you can't spend money on the space, you have to take another job, and your morale goes down and your feelings go down, you become less confident, and the whole thing can go down. And what we want is the spiral to be going upwards. We've got lots of techniques that you can do and work on, visualizations, creative techniques to create a positive spiral. The other important thing is momentum, because it takes quite a lot of energy, in the beginning to get your practice to start rolling. But once you put that energy in and it starts rolling, providing that you sort everything else out, all the other different energy work techniques out, what will happen is it will gain momentum, and then you'll be able to relax a bit on the practice management and all the techniques, the energy techniques that we have in the course. And that's exactly what happened to me, because what happened was I tried all of these techniques, and I was averaging 2 new clients a week for over a year. So it built up very quickly. Within 2 or 3 years, I was full. And very soon, after about 4 years, I was booked a year ahead solid with a waiting list. And I had to stop taking new clients on for 3 years until I managed to create space for new clients. And the way I did it was basically I put everything into reverse. So I didn't even take a business card out. I closed all of the practice management things down. And then I started to create a bit of space. So now I've got my practice just about how I like it. About 85% of my appointments get taken up right through the year as soon as the diary is opened. But that gives me that 15% space for returning clients that have come back after maybe 20 years or 30 years, or fitting in new clients, because obviously it's nice to have new clients coming in. Just getting that balance right. Okay, and here's some feedback from a previous course. It helped me kick off a much more positive wave of energy, and that was from Kerry, who did the course in the old format. Okay, and then module 7. We put it all together in module 7. There's quite a few things you need to do once you're up and running. You need to be dealing with challenging clients. You're going to get those who really stretch your techniques, or who are very difficult to manage. It's very important to network as well, so that you can refer clients out. We'll show you how to do that. And also avoiding burnout, because that's very, very easy. Once everything starts getting going, it's so easy for the whole thing to get out of control, and you don't want to get to the stage where you're burning yourself out. And so we do some meditations, again, some creative meditations for the future. And that's what we're doing. Okay, so let me just have a look and see if I've got anything else for you I can hand out to you. Yep, you've got the pyramid, you've got oh yeah, I know what I do. I can share this, the PDF of me working from home in Siena, so you can see the pictures of me. You can see the picture of me. Yeah, cool. That's it. You can see the picture of my rooms, and you can see what I did when I was working from home. Yeah, great. So if you've got any comments or anything you'd like to share with the group, that would be great to hear from you. Otherwise I'll carry on, and we'll see what we get in the next slides. Okay. Let's send you all a message. I'm going to ask you, do you prefer to work from home, a clinic, or do you prefer to do home visits? And then just give us one reason why you prefer that. Yeah, send that off. Okay, great. Let's carry on. All right, of course, yes. And at the end of the whole course, we're going to show you what we do here, because obviously we do all these things at the Shiatsu Center, and we're always constantly trying to make things better all the time. And we'll show you a video tour. We did one in the past. We did one about 10 years ago. So we've got a new one coming up with a new one coming up with like all the improvements we've made. You can compare them with our 2009 carpet situation. Okay, look, Moira said she's going to clients' homes, but she'd love to have my own premises to work from. Well, that's really good, yeah. I mean, the disadvantages, obviously, of doing home visits is it takes time. You have the travel costs. But as Shakura says, I mean, it is much easier to work from clinic. What you want to do, the thing about the clinic, though, is although it'll be set up for you, and obviously we set up, this is my treatment room here, and we obviously set it up for Shiatsu. We've got the futon here behind me. what you need to do is find a clinic that you like the vibe of, like the feeling, like the people that work there, and then ask them for some sort of startup scheme. Because what we do here at the Shiatsu Center with new practitioners is we give them like a 3 or 6 month startup where they only pay when they're using the space. And most clinics do that because that allows you to build things up so that when you go on to a regular rental where you're renting out half a day or a day, then you've got some momentum behind it and you've got some clients to fill up those gaps, because it can be expensive otherwise. If you're paying rent on a clinic and you've got no one coming, that can be, you know, expensive. Yeah, Barbara says she prefers working in the clinic because the trap is that people think that you're, you know, like at their disposal, and that's true. You know, you can be in there for ages. I tell you what, I've had some pretty heavy duty, like bad experiences with home visits, including a dog. One of my clients' dogs were like walking over me as I'm trying to do shiatsu on the floor there. The other thing is you've got to carry the futon. Unless you get them to set up something up for you, you've got to carry the futon. Now, Kate says that she likes the clear homework boundaries. And what we've done on the course is we've actually got a whole table of suggestions of how you can create that if you're at home. Because there are ways when you're working from home that you can create those boundaries by keeping the time clear, making sure someone else is coming in after them, or having something else after they've gone. Personally, as you can see from my my Sienna PDF, you'll see how I'm very particular about neutralizing the space. That takes work. Here's a funny thing. We were doing the table about advantages and disadvantages, and the whole cleaning up thing, we couldn't work out whether that was an advantage or a disadvantage, because the disadvantage is you have to clear up everything and you have to clean it like every week or every day that they're coming. But the advantage is you always have a really clear entrance hall and a really clear bathroom and a really clear treatment room. Okay. So, you know, that's, okay. So Catherine says she prefers to work from home or rent a room because she doesn't like the travel time. And that's absolutely true. You have to balance the travel time with the room rental. That's the equation. So if you're going to do long distances and you've obviously got a car, or I know my colleague Elise, my friend Elise was in London when she first came from New York, and she went everywhere by taxi, but she just charged the person the taxi fare, so that was okay. Oh, you banned pets from home visits. You see, that's a really good thing. And Antonella remembers my Sienna space. Yeah, it was a great space, absolutely fantastic. The view out of the window with the Duomo, the cathedral, was absolutely incredible. You know. Yeah, okay, and there's this issue about I see, but I was saying, yeah, when you regularly go to a place, then they're in the habit of just saying, oh, I'll just finish this email, I'll just, you know, they don't prioritize your time. And again, I've had that issue before, and I'm just very, very strict, right? You know, I come in, usually I've got people booked in the clinic waiting for me afterwards, so I have to be out of there at a certain time. So I mean, I go in there, I'm ready. If they're not ready, I have to cut the treatment short. And also banned pets from home visits. That's a really good idea. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So let's have a look. I enjoy working with the guys at Neil's Yard. Yeah, okay. This graduate scheme is a great. Claire's sharing that. Yeah, okay, that's good. You see, if you enjoy the space, then that's great. And as Petra says, working from home, it allows you to manage the shiatsu and the family without additional stress to commute. That's absolutely right. You can fit it around your times. But there is a danger to that. You know, you've got to make sure that, you know, kids don't come rushing in, or while you're working, or suddenly the plumber arrives. You know, I mean, you have to make sure you have everything scheduled out possibly, and make sure that everyone's going to be quiet when they come in. You know, so that's it. Right, there we go. Look, Daniela says, I do home visits, but I know I don't charge enough to cover the commute, only the petrol. There you go. You've answered your own problem there. You know, you've got to think about that. Think about the time, but you've got to balance that against room rental. Okay. Yeah. And also, of course, it depends on whether you've got a big enough house, whether you've got a spare room. And if you haven't got a spare room, you know, if you've got to share the time and the space with another function, you know, like you've got to clear it out. That's a lot of work. But that can happen in clinics too. I mean, I remember I was working in a clinic in London way back in the day, and it was a multidisciplinary clinic, and it used to drive me nuts because every time I got there, there'd be some other piece of furniture in the room. Like there'd be a desk that wasn't there last week, or there'd be two chairs, or there'd be two chairs and a desk and a table and a plant pot, you know, and I had to sort of move everything out. And then the other thing with shiatsu is you have to clean it all, because the floor has to be so clean, much cleaner than other therapies. So if you are in a shiatsu clinic, or you've got somewhere where it's very clean, where people can take their shoes off, then that really does help a lot. So it's very important that you choose the right kind of clinic to go with. And also, Virginia's got Virginia, that's really cool. She's got really good feedback about the peaceful treatment room. Yeah, if you've got a nice room, it's fantastic. Working from home can be really good. You can control the whole feel of it so much more than if you were in a clinic that you don't really like, or which is not clean enough and stuff like that. So there's all things to consider. But the main thing, if you're working from home, the main thing is you want to make sure you do it right, because you want to make sure that you maximize the number of referrals, because referrals and recommendations are the best way to get new clients. So having a really nice, professional, clear setup means that your client is going to not worry about recommending their auntie or someone like that, or, you know, who doesn't know you very well, because they know that they're going to be looked after all the way through the space. Okay, so getting it right is really, really important. Okay, so I'm going to click back through here and I'm just going to come back to my Sienna space. Yeah, I'm just going to remember this place. You notice that I've got a chair there in the entrance hall. So basically, this door, people came into the entrance hall, they sat down on the chair. The bathroom was round the corner there, and the treatment room was. Yeah, that's right. So the treatment room was just around the corner again. So luckily there was, even though some of the spaces were shared, I was able to completely neutralize them. Oh, Karen, so I've got heating problems. Can be a real issue. Yeah, heating problems. I tell you a really good trick though, which is what we do at the Shiatsu Center, is we actually use like a heated under blanket. So if you use a special blanket, like an electric blanket that people can lie on, then you can heat the mat from underneath, and that means the room doesn't have to be that warm, and that's made a terrific difference to how we work. Because otherwise, because the floor is the coldest place in the room, you have to heat the whole space up really hot, and that was a problem for me in Siena, because the tiled floors, you know, and all the rest of it, really, really tricky, really difficult to do. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Yep. Dinah. Hello, Dinah. Dinah's logging in, and she's just said, as you can see in the chat, she just wanted to say that working in a clinic is on the spot peer support is really important, and that is useful actually, because it can be a bit lonely sometimes if you're working from home. So if you've got a clinic where you get on with people and who can give you support, that's an absolutely fantastic thing. And we actually have a protocol in the Shiatsu Center that says, you know, will you give me peer support? Is it okay to clear it with the person, so that we can sort of discharge if we've had a difficult client, or if we need advice on treating specific problems. So that's another positive thing that can happen. And if you don't have that, then what you should do is make sure you set up some kind of networking. That's what we do in module 7, show you how to set up some kind of connection through social media, or through emailing or texting or WhatsApp or something, so that you've got some kind of supervision there, because that's really important. And it's a surprise to me that, you know, that shiatsu doesn't have a requirement. Lots of therapies have a requirement for supervision. So there you go. Okay. Right. Are there any questions about Virginia says, I've got extra heating in the room and it has a glow, but in Scotland you need extra light as well. You should, yeah, exactly. You do need a lot of extra support. Okay, great. So let's have a look back. I'm just going to have a quick look back and just have a look and see if there's any anything else that you might like to talk about. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, okay. Let's find out your attitude to money. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, money. Have you a problem with, or have you any issues with charging? And do you give reduced rates? Okay, let's hear from you. How you feel about charging? That's module 5. Yep. Okay. Money is energy. Yep. So how do you feel about that? How have you any issues with charging, or have you had any in the past? And how do you deal with giving reduced rates? Yeah, okay, Virginia has a problem. Yeah, she has people with lots of money and people struggling with money. That is becoming an increasing issue as well, because as inequality, there's more and more inequality about now, which means you're going to have very, very wealthy clients, and you're going to have some that's, you know, obviously are going to be struggling. Catherine finds it's difficult to find the right value of what I feel I can offer during my treatments. Yep, that's a difficult one. And Simonetta says it's very difficult to ask for money. So that's obviously an issue there. Oh, yeah, of course, Petra says in Switzerland, the rates are set by the health insurance, so they're reimbursed. So it's very different. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And Barbara's got an interesting one. She's got some reduced rates and, yeah, regular clients. Okay. Agali, yes. Interesting. She's got over that. Right. How would you recommend introducing a cancellation fee? Here's an actual question. Okay. Okay. Right. Here's a few things to think about. Okay. First of all, you have to charge. Unless it's an insurance thing, which you have in Switzerland, but it depends which country. Certainly in the UK and most countries, you have to charge some kind of fee. If you're still studying, like Moira is, then obviously you can work at a reduced rate, or a donation towards your study is a good way of doing it. Then people will appreciate that. I personally think it's a very good idea to set up the charging as soon as you can, because it's an energy exchange. You know, if someone just keeps giving you something over and over again, just giving you, not asking for anything in return, you're going to have an imbalanced relationship there, and that's not going to be sustainable. What the money does is it balances out the relationship. So you're giving a lot in a shiatsu treatment, and it's only right that money, which is only a condensed form of energy, that they can rebalance that relationship, and that's very important. Okay, now how much that is depends on a lot of different factors. Like I say, there's 3 different methods of pricing that you really need to know about, that we deal with in the course. But the important thing is to get it right. So let's have a look at some of these questions. Yeah, when you shift to charging from being a student, it's difficult. Yeah, because suddenly you're not charging anything, and suddenly you're going to have to charge a certain amount. So that's why I recommend you ease them in gradually by asking for a donation towards your study, and that gets you used to it. Okay, here's a simple guide for setting your price, and that's to look around at someone who's doing acupuncture or a similar therapy. If you're not a shiatsu practitioner, if you're another type of therapist, find out what the market price is in your area for your level of experience and also the environment you're working in, and then don't charge less than that, because you want to make sure that you pitch, you want to pitch it right. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now we look about, now we a lot of people are asking about, yeah, I've hit the reality that people find money for things they want, like hairdos, cleaning, massage, waxing, etc. They can find money for shiatsu they want to. Yeah, a lot of it's to do with your clarity. If you set up the charging really clearly, then that's going to really, really help. Also, I mean, I charge the most here in this clinic because I'm the most experienced. And interestingly enough, in the space of a few weeks, I had the following people come to my house who did things like unblocked my drains when my drains filled up, cleaned a sofa for me with a machine that took 45 minutes, okay? Came to do some other job, like kind of like a building job, small building job. All of those people charged more than I did. Even the person who unblocked my drains charged more, okay? So you really have to really take a really close look to make sure that you don't undercharge. Shiatsu people are notorious for undercharging. It's really important that you don't do that. And also the other thing is, if you do have a client that you really want to give a reduced rate to because they seriously have money problems and they are, maybe they're ill, long-term ill, and they can't work, something like that. I've had clients like that. Then if you charge a reasonable price to everyone else, then you're going to be able to afford to do a few reduced rates. But be careful, because quite often the people that ask for reduced rates can be the ones that have got the most money. And so basically what I do is I don't advertise any reduced rates, and I only do them at my discretion, and only if I really feel I can help that person and they couldn't get help anywhere else, you know. The other thing you've got to be really, really careful about is those people that need a reduced rate are probably going to be long-term ill, and they've probably got multiple issues. So you're locking yourself in for a long period of time. And if you're not careful, you can get a lot of people on reduced rates, and then that can kind of bring your whole average income down and jeopardize the whole practice. So it's a responsibility. You have a responsibility to set your price at the right level for many reasons. You don't want to be undercutting local practitioners. You want to set it so you can give discounts. You want to set it so you can create the right environment, like we have done here. All these things is where the money goes to. It's not into your pocket. It's to create the right energy field for your practitioner, for your clients to come into to receive the therapy. Okay, let's have a look at some of these questions coming in. Oh, Danielle, I've kept the same price for 5 years and will find it difficult to raise it. I do have a reduced fee for work colleagues. Right, that's a really bad idea. You have to put up your prices with inflation. You must do that. And if you do it every year, then your clients will get used to it. Our clients know that April 1st is coming around. It's coming around very soon, and they expect to see an inflation rise. And the danger of not doing that is that and I've made that mistake myself. I've made that mistake, is that very soon it can erode your income down. You've got to keep up with inflation. Let's just see if there's anything else. Cancellations. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Yes. Okay, cancellations. Yeah, you have to have a clear cancellation policy. I made that mistake. I had one client who was always canceling. I didn't charge them. They kept canceling. Last minute. They didn't show. And then it was only when I actually gave them a sure and absolutely fixed cancellation policy, and I charged them, that they stopped doing that. And it really is all to do with your boundaries. But I tell you what we do here, we have it cut both ways. So if we make a mistake, which sometimes happens, there's a double booking or we just mess up the diary or something, we offer a free treatment. So it works both ways. We give our clients a free treatment. If we mess up, if they mess up, forget to come or whatever, we expect them to pay. And it's clearly shown on the prices poster that we have in the office. And my clients, they always pay me. I never have that problem. They just put the money in the post immediately if they mess up, because they value, if you value your work, then your clients will value it too. And of course, obviously, if they're ill or if there's snow or they have an accident, or I mean, obviously, then you're not going to charge them. But, you know, my clients still offer, oh, do you want me to pay for that appointment because, you know, I had an accident? Or I said, no. But it's because the policy is set up very clearly. Okay, Simonetti, you've really got to get your charging sorted out, okay? If you're not happy about what you're charging, that will affect your shiatsu treatments. And I've made that mistake myself in the past. What can happen is if you charge too little, the energy exchange is unbalanced. It's unbalanced, okay? And that's a real problem, because you are going to be upset. After a while, you're going to feel like you're being used, you're giving too much out. It will deplete you. You won't have enough money for holidays. You won't be able to relax. You know, everything is going to start going down and you're going to get a downward spiral, okay? So it's not for you, okay? The money is not for you. The money is to create the energy field of the practice. And if you don't charge the right amount, it will go down and no one will get any shiatsu, because all the shiatsu practitioners are going to go bust. They're going to take on different jobs and there's not going to be any. So that's your responsibility to charge. It's not for you, it's for shiatsu or for the therapy that you're doing, okay? So make sure you put it up with inflation. Right, this is Talia's got another interesting one. If you work from home, or a clinic, do you have different rates? Really, it's up to you, okay? But don't forget, though, that it's not free if you have a room at home, because you could be renting that room out, or you could be doing Airbnb, or you know what I mean? So that rent is there, it's kind of there anyway, by the fact that you're not using it for something else. I think it depends a lot on the environment. So if you're working out of a really fancy clinic, like a really nicely set up clinic that costs money to maintain, by the way, and you're very relaxed at home, then you might want to charge slightly different rates. And some of the practitioners who work here do that. But on the other hand, if you've got a very nice setup at home and you feel happy about the environment, then it's fine to charge the same amounts, okay? Yes, as Catherine says, it's much better to regularly put up the money small, other than panic and realize that you're totally undercharging and then have to put it up by a third or something, which is what I've done in the past. I've made that mistake in the past. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. Yeah, Diana says we've got the cancellation policy written on the appointment cards. Yeah, we have that on the cards as well. Yeah, and as Dinah says, we put up the money, even if it's just a tiny amount. If inflation, we do it with inflation, so inflation's low, then we only put up a bit, and people are used to that, that's just one of those things. Okay, so look, here's some past reviews. This is the old course we ran on the old platform, which was much shorter and much less in detail, much less video, and we've had some fantastic reviews. People really love it. They found it really invaluable. A transformative experience, positive energy, materials really useful, much more than they've expected, and they just really love it. And I tell you, another thing is that people find the course pays for itself within a few weeks, because inevitably you start doing this stuff, you get more clients, and you just pay for the course. It's happened every single time, so. It was a great course on the old platform, and we put months of work in. We've got so much more video stuff, more handouts, more links. It's just we've upgraded the whole thing to this seven module, 45-hour course, and we're really proud of it, and we'd love you to do it. Okay, so let's go through some frequently asked questions, because we have these sent to us all the time by email, so I just want to make it really clear. How long is the course? The course is a minimum of 8 weeks. We drip it to you one module a week. So it spans 8 weeks, but you have lifetime access. So you will have the material, and any upgrades, you'll have them forever. Okay. And as we improve the course over the years, we're going to put it in, you have access to them. Okay. So it's completely, it's completely self-paced. What if you don't like the course? That's okay. We very rarely ever give refunds, but we will give you all your money back as long as you don't like it. If you don't like it within 30 days, so there's no risk at all. How does it work? Well, we have one module dripped to you every week, and we send you a reminder email every week to say, hey, module 3 is now available. And do you get feedback on your work that you're doing and all the creative, imaginative, fun things that you're doing? Yes, you do, because we have discussion forums on every module, and they're really good fun. You can share pictures of what you're doing, of your treatment space, of all the things you're up to, and you can get feedback from the team and also from your peers, all the people. And it's usually people from all over the world who are like on the forums sharing the pictures and everything. So it's kind of really cool. Okay, so here we go. Got a few more minutes left. How much does it cost? Well, it's a 45-hour program, and we normally charge €299 for that, but wait for it, because we've got a big webinar only discount coming up, because we really appreciate the fact you've taken time to join us on this webinar. And also we want to kick this course into life immediately with a big influx of people. So what we're going to do is we've given a limited offer away. We've got Nicole Bays, our marketing guru person, who you will have seen on YouTube, and you may have seen on the other webinar. She's going to offer the first 10 people that sign up, she's going to offer a free consultation. Okay. And what we've decided to do is we're going to more or less give away the first 25 enrollments to kickstart the course. And we're going to give you, only you who have been on this webinar, a €200 discount. So that's €99 for the whole thing forever. All your practice management issues solved forever, for the limited edition. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually share. Let's see if this works. I'm going to share the link with you, the discount offer link, and that will take you straight through to the discount. So you'll be able to see if you can get one of those first 25 enrollments. And we had 150 people on this webinar. We had over 350 on the other two. So we've got probably about 300 or 400 people interested in this topic. So we thought we'd offer this to you first if you want to join us, and we'd love to have you as part of the course. It's so much fun meeting everyone. Okay, so what we'll do also is if that link gets lost or anything like that, don't worry, because we're going to download the registration from the webinar, and we'll send you out an email. So don't panic if you don't get the link straight away. Okay, cool. So there we go. Yep, and we're going to send you obviously a link to the YouTube recording. We'll record the video. We've recorded the video. We're going to send you a YouTube link, and we'll send you an email out with the discount code if you want to join us. Yeah, that's it. I hope you've really, really enjoyed the webinar. It's been great having so much activity on the chat. We sorted out quite a few people's problems with pricing. Okay, and if you want to find out more, there's loads on the course for that in Module 5. We've also dealt with a lot of your issues about where to work from on the webinar. And as I say, we go into great detail, the whole thing about the phone. There's loads of stuff to work on. And so why don't you get it sorted out? Get it sorted out. If everyone did that, there'd be a lot more shiatsu and a lot more therapies going on in the world, and it would be a much better place all round. Okay, so there we are, okay, and we'll email you out the link if you didn't get it. And that's it. Thank you very much. The end of these 3 webinars that we've done on practice management. Hope to see you on the course. Okay, cool. I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on another free webinar soon. Thank you very much.